Now we on the show, Matt Embree, Matics Embree, Glory featherweight contender, Muay Thai champ, man. How are you doing? Thank you for being on the show, man.
I'm doing great, and thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Well, your fight card camp started. How's that going? And are you planning to bring anybody in to implement your opponent?
Fight camp has been great. I started training right after I seen Van Roosmalen win it. So but now it's time to really kick it up into high gear. I have a really good team around me already, so I don't really need to bring anybody else in. I have all the guys I need, and just like everyone's kind of helping me focus on my things. It's great.
Yeah. What did you think about Roosman's fight against Varga? Did you see anything that you like his last two fights, that fight and the one with Senchai? What did you make of his performances?
Van Roosmalen, he fought great. I guess I think Varga didn't look like he was in it mentally, and he just wasn't used to dealing with the pressure. Same old Van Roosmalen, same guy you see who's been fighting the same way for the whole time. It's not really any different.
Yeah,
what he's done, he's good at what he does, and it's been working for him. So I mean, it's nothing really different.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're born and raised in Toronto, and your next fight's going to be here in LA. Good for us because we'll probably be there in attendance. Yeah. But is it a pain in the butt for you to fight out of the country, or do you not really care? Does it affect you at all?
Not at all. I mean, I love LA. I got enough people out there.
Right.
That's like my biggest fan base outside of Toronto, which is good. I got a lot of homies, and I just like to travel. I love traveling, doing what I do, and just networking, meeting all people, and becoming more cultured, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Just experiencing everything about it, and it's awesome.
And talk about your camp. You start now. Your official camp starts now, and then it goes all the way until obviously the week of the fight. What's that like for you? How do you pick up the pace? How do you tone it down? What's the overall schedule for you usually?
Well, more or less it's been the same since I started. About 2 times a day, 6 days out of the week. It just kind of varies on the degree of intensity. Sometimes I go harder sessions, sometimes I go lighter. It's just now I'm a bit more experienced. I have more of a thorough understanding of my own body, so I can listen to it a little more. I don't just have to push through the days where I shouldn't, and I know how to get myself into proper shape. It's just a lot more strategy and tactics now. I build on that. I work a lot more specifics than I used to because I mean, at the beginning of it, I had to refine all my techniques, make sure that I was a well-rounded fighter, and so that takes a lot of time. And I just feel like now I'm starting to just come into my prime. I feel like I've refined a lot more, so I can really start to get into the more tactical aspects of my game, I guess.
Yeah.
And you started fighting as a teenager. And,
yes.
Canada has this cliche where, everyone's happy and friendly. So did you have to go through any kind of bullying situation for you to get into fighting? Or what was your motive to start competing or start fighting or training?
Yeah, definitely no bullying. But, I mean, Canadians like to fight still. It's it's embedded in our culture,
Yeah.
You got hockey. It's just... Yeah. Guys have a disagreement, you scrap over it. It's kind of an honorable thing, I guess. And I've just always loved martial arts. And, the city I grew up in is called Oshawa. This is a little outside of Toronto, but I guess it's a little rough. A lot of people, there was a lot of fights going on, but it was in a good way. It wasn't people weren't stabbing and shooting each other so much. It was more of oh, you guys have a problem, you scrap it out, and then after you shake hands type of thing, which is good. And I don't know, in general, Canada has a diverse population and culture. So you have people from all over the world, and a lot of these guys are bringing knowledge from where they come from, a lot of martial artists, and everybody just kind of integrated together, and so we share that knowledge, and we just build together. So it's pretty sick.
Yeah. And you started in high school, right? Was there anybody else that you knew that was doing Muay Thai at that time, or you started at 17, right? 16, 17?
Yeah, nobody I knew personally, but my crew, the people I was with, everyone was really big into MMA. We all It was just it was like a prime time. That was like the Pride Grand Prix when like Shogun was taking over and Vanderlei and like Liddell and
Yeah.
Coaster and like it was just a great time for UFC when it really started to take off, and then the Ultimate Fighter as well. So like I've always been a fan of all that stuff, and like the mystique about martial arts in general kind of changed because it's like now you have video and like all the styles can get put to the test in a
Right.
sense. Oh, and so like the better of all the styles just kind of came to the top as I saw it, and to me Muay Thai was definitely one of them, and I just loved the whole culture behind it and everything. So I did my research and I just kind of pursued that path.
Yeah.
And speaking of MMA, you fought once for mixed martial arts.
No MMA fights yet.
No.
MMA fights?
Oh.
Never. Yeah.
Huh.
Hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, I
Soon.
got something wrong. Oh, soon, right? I saw it.
Hey,
Soon.
I remember they were saying that on Glory too. I think they just it was just a simple mistake. I
Okay.
train I do jiu-jitsu, I do boxing, I do wrestling, I do all that stuff, but I just have yet to fight because just bigger opportunities been coming in the striking world.
Yeah. And like in terms of like your opportunities in the striking world, you have Glory. You have so much success in Glory in a short amount of time. You had the featherweight tournament that you just ran through with those guys, and then you obviously #1 contender now. I mean, what do you make of your whole overall success in that short amount of time? Is it something that you've thought about, that you've
Absolutely
contemplated?
Yeah, from the day I started,
Yeah.
maybe even a year before I started, I've always just imagined myself being the best in the world one day, and I feel like it's just like 10 years of fruition coming to, 10 years of hard work coming to fruition. Like I always imagined myself being one of the best in the world, and I just feel like I needed that. A couple things all needed to line up. I needed to come into my prime. I feel like it just took a little more time. I feel like I'm just starting to get there now, like I said, and I needed opportunity.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like obviously there's political side that you always got to look at,
Yeah.
and like opportunities sometimes they come knocking, but sometimes they're not worth your time. And so like you just have to be patient too. You have to play the game right. And I always looked like I knew I was going to be in Glory one day. I just didn't know when exactly, and it just happened kind of coincidentally. Like a guy dropped out of the tournament because they couldn't fly him in, couldn't get a visa or something. So they hit me up, and so it was kind of short notice. But I hopped on it because I've been training. I'm ready to go, and from there it's just like perfect. And now I'm gonna be the world champ soon.
Yeah.
Right. I like the confidence, man. Here in the United States, Muay Thai is still like a struggling sport. I mean, it has its following, but it's not as big as it can be. How is it in Canada? I know you have guys like Simon Marcus, who's a big star there from Canada. How's kickboxing welcome in the sport of Muay Thai or kickboxing?
It's huge in Toronto, to be honest. Like we have so many different gyms, so many different academies. Not just Toronto, like GTA, Ontario. It's really big. It's big. It's big in other places too. But like I would say, Ontario is kind of like the hot spot. There's so many different academies, so many different athletes, but we haven't had the opportunities like a lot of other places because we have no pro fights. Yeah. So since we have no pro fights, there's no avenue for people to actually see a future in it. They can't see themselves making money, so they have to travel elsewhere. You got to invest in yourself. You got to pay to go other places so you can train. So that's kind of the shitty part about it. But we have the guys. We have amazing network of just like fighters everywhere, and everyone pretty much it's pretty cordial with everybody. Everyone is friendly and like it's open. There's not too much beef. And so, like, people are willing to work with each other now, which is good because the sport's starting to grow. We just got MTO, Muay Thai Ontario, which is like amateur organization. Basically, I don't know if a lot of people don't know it, but like, so the political side of things on the Ontario Commission is really messed up. They charge a lot I think it's about at least $100K fee for any pro event to go down. And they don't do a professional job. They're very unprofessional the way they do everything. They're very strict like to the point of like makes it impossible. They're not willing to do the work too. Sometimes they're not willing to do one show one week and the next show the next week because they don't want to work too hard or something like that. And like it's just like age old laws, like hundreds of years in the dirt that shouldn't be around anymore. It's just like kind of hindering the growth of like an amazing community, an amazing sport. Like so much opportunity, and there's money to be made too. So like the government should take a realization to that. They just got to get certain men's out of power that are like kind of fucking it up for everybody else. But like, yeah, Toronto, Ontario, this is where the guys are at, you know.
Yeah. Is it just in Ontario, or is it in other
like Alberta, Vancouver, Quebec? They all have pretty good organizations. Like TKO just came back for MMA, which is pretty big. Quebec has a big boxing scene as well, like pro boxing. So like that would say, in my opinion, that's probably the biggest place for fighting in Canada is Quebec. But Calgary has a good fight scene, good fight fans, nice and friendly people. Everybody's supportive of their athletes. Same thing with BC as well. And but the problem is like Ontario has the biggest population. We have the most guys. Like Toronto's got like 2 to 3 million people in the GTA, right? That's the area where you're gonna get the most fans. You're gonna make the most money, right? And it's just that's that one spot. Yeah. That we don't have, that we just gotta bust out, you know.
Right. And you're really good, training partners, friends with Simon Marcus. You know, how has that relationship been for you, and in terms of your growth and. You know, you see where he's made a name for himself. You know, obviously you're on your way to becoming a world champ too. In Glory and doing all that stuff. So what do you make of that? Like how you guys is, I know you guys are really tight.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how things happen, you know, just like the time that I came into the gym and he came into the gym, it was just like, it's not too often you get two guys who are really hungry and serious about what they're doing. We both knew we wanted to be the best, you know, and, from the get-go, as soon as as soon as we linked up, it was all love. It was just like, we kind of come from, we're kind of cut from the same cloth, I guess. And, it's been awesome because we've pretty much traveled the world together fighting on these cards. So it's just like, I got another world-class homie who's there with me, who's going through the struggles, who's doing it all, and Simon is a very strong person mentally, like he will push harder than anyone I've ever seen. And so to have that energy around, and I feel like I'm very similar to that. So me and him would always push each other. It didn't matter if it was push-ups or sprint or anything. Like, I'm trying to beat him, he's trying to beat me, and we're trying to beat everyone else too. Like just that competitive nature, it's good, But yeah, like I said, like it's a powerful presence to have around you because fighting and warfare in general is just. It's intense. There's a lot of turmoil that goes into it, and you need other warriors by your side to kind of, to elevate the morale. Yeah. And, like I said, you're not going to get a more warrior-minded person. So, that's what it is.
Nice. All right, man, I have to ask you this, man, because we brought up Simon Marcus. I know he's a big pro wrestling fan, and I know the WWE hit Toronto a couple weeks ago pretty hard. I think he was at Survivor Series. I think it was at NXT, if I'm not mistaken. But are you a pro wrestling fan? If you are, did you attend those events in Toronto this past weekend?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of wrestling. Right. That was where it all started, kind of. I mean, for a lot of us. Yeah. Like, man, it was all about the wrestling. That's where your first moves come from, man. DDT, all that stuff.
To me and Josh are big Bret Hart fans, so we love the Canadians.
Too, sharpshooter. Big bro put you in it. The ref is gonna save you there. Yeah. But no, definitely. I haven't got a chance to go yet, but those guys are amazing at what they do. They're great entertainers. It's a good show, and it's definitely an athletic endeavor what they're doing. It's not easy what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I respect and a lot of those wrestlers are. Become good fighters, like that's why it's cool. There's obviously people can call it fake or whatever, it's just maybe it's choreographed, but they're still slamming mans and they're doing their thing. It's a good art. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
And let's talk about the matchup real quick. I mean, your style versus Van Roosmalen's style, and how you think that plays out, because he's obviously fought the way he's fought for a long time. The way and he comes forward a lot. He throws like combinations. It seems like with you, you come forward a lot too, but you're very calculated with all your shots. You almost have a similar style to him because you both have the Muay Thai background. How does that fight play out in terms of your style matchup?
Well, I think the element of surprise lies in my favor because he's done the same thing over and over again throughout his career. He's been pretty successful with it, but he hasn't changed it, and I feel like I'll exploit that weakness. It's just like, it's a truism of warfare that one-dimensional fighters make, they define your fighting style. So he's fought the same way and he's found success with it, but like certain men's kind of did exploit that. And the guys who did, I feel like, have similar styles to me. He just he doesn't know what I'm going to do. And the bottom line is, like, if you watch my fights, I feel like you see a lot more of a progression. I feel like you see improvement every fight, and like I just get better and better over the years, and it's been a long road, but like he's been good and he's just kind of done what he's done, and like I guess if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it, but you're gonna need to fix it after I'm done with them.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's play a Mystic Matt for a second. And how do you see this fight ending? Did you see him like a knockout? Did you see decision? What do you see?
I see a victory by any means necessary.
Ooh. Nation of domination.
Nation of domination.
All right, man. Hey, it's been great talking to you, man. We look forward to seeing you this January, man. And Los Angeles Glory 37, dude. Thank you for coming on the show.
And also, if you can, just plug in your sponsors if you have any, and how the fans can find you on social media.
Yeah. Right now, we're dealing with all the sponsors right now, so like nothing is set in stone yet, but pretty soon we'll let everybody know what it is. Just want to shout out the Mandem, the Art of Fighting team. That's just like our crew in Toronto. We just got all the Mandem. Like I said, Simon, obviously, Misha Serkinov fighting soon in UFC December 10th. Rob Santos, Ben Say, Leo Dima, Igor. Then you got all the other gyms too. I always shout out all the Mandem, Southside, Mass, Crudar. We got a lot of teams out here, and like I said, it's unified. So I got to give love to all the people in the community. So I'm number one originally. Just that. The Muay Thai peeps. Don't know already. That's it.
And social media? How fans can find you?
Media, Matics _AOF. I think the Twitter is still Muay Matics, MUAY_Matics. And then Facebook, just Matt Embree, the fan page. You already know, guys. Yep. Just hit me up if you ever, want to check out my career and see how I'm doing.
Oh, obviously, man. We're going to keep up with you, and I think the fans will, too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, good luck on your training camp, man. And Josh and I will see you in L.A. Nice and bright, sunny L.A. And hopefully get to chat with you in person, brother.
Yeah, sounds great, boys.
All right, guys. Take care.
Peace.